Title: TIFU by remembering a regular's order. Obligatory on mobile warning. I work at a popular coffee shop in Canada, and have been for the last 2 years. Most customers who come here a lot don't have to order, because we already know it. One guy who comes in orders something distinct, and was very nice to me when I first started. His order was the first I memorized. For example, he orders a large and a medium coffee, but sometimes would just get the large. He came in today for the first time since I started working again from quarantine. I told his order to the girl working the counter with me, listing the large and medium coffees. But he ended up just getting the large. Title: TIFU by revealing my boyfriend's true parentage and causing his parents to divorce. So, this fuck-up has been a long time in the making. It started when I, 26F, bought my boyfriend, 23M, an Ancestry DNA kit for his birthday in January. This is something that he had requested as he has a surname that is, legend has it, associated with the bastard children of royalty. A bit like Snow in Game of Thrones. Anyway, he eventually gets around to doing the test. The results come back and said he has a 25% match to 2 individuals in their late teens and early 20s, which is most likely a half-sibling. He made contact with the 2 half-siblings, did a little digging, and it turned out that their father and my boyfriend's mother went to university together. They had seen each other since, but communication lapsed over time. My boyfriend looks suspiciously like this man, and the timelines add up. So, I've inadvertently revealed that his mum had an affair, and the man he grew up thinking was his biological father is not related to him at all. They're now getting divorced. My bad. Title: TIFU by deworming my mother-in-law's poor cats. This was actually a few years ago, but came to mind today. 100% true story. My mother-in-law called me to see if I would help her with deworming her cats. She was a bit afraid, whereas I have no problem holding a cat tight and dropping a few tablets down her throat. Done it a bunch of times to my own cats, so no problem. I'm a huge cat person as well, so most of the time everything goes smooth. Got there and she told me she got a new kind of paste instead of tablets, and it has to go up the pooper. Kind of worried me, since I have never done HOR before. But hey, what could go wrong? Worms would come out of there also. So it actually never sounded really bizarre. Just hold the cat tight, grab her by the neck and give loads of treats afterwards. Opened up the package, took out the tube, and damn, this thing looked like a rocket launcher. Asked my mother-in-law if she was really sure about this, and she confirmed multiple times. What has to be done has to be done, so I took one of the cats, held it down, shoved the tube up her rear exit, and squirted the exact amount of paste where it belonged. Oh, the meows and screams. But it was for the good, worms suck. Took a couple of scratches to the arm though. So I wrapped the next cat in a towel. Gently, of course, but so that her paws couldn't reach me. And once again inserted the tube up her butt. The cat looked at me like a deer in headlights and made noises that haunt me to this very day. But again, it was for their own good. Paste inside, lots of treats and cuddles, and the cats were fine. But they are still mad at me and mostly ignore me up to this day. Afterwards I decided to read the package to see how long this stuff would actually work, since I have never seen deworming paste that has to go up the rear end. To my shock, it turned out that my mother-in-law seemed to have had a temporary brain fart because she mixed up anally and orally. Yup, it was supposed to go in the cat's mouth. I have never felt so guilty as I had to repeat the procedure, but this time in the right orifice. Title: TIFU by forgetting if I had a tampon in. obligatory on mobiles, so excuse the formatting. And this happened yesterday, Saturday, but was resolved this morning. As a woman in my mid-30s, I've had my fair share of periods, and had always considered myself lucky that I had never forgotten to take a tampon out before putting another one in. There was the time I forgot I had one in and then had sex, but that's a different story. So I'm visiting my parents for the weekend and they have a septic system, which means that I can't flush any tampons because it can fuck the septic system up. I normally just wrap them and throw them out anyway, but I'm extra cautious when I'm here. I started my period Friday and it was really heavy and I was pissed that I would have to be dealing with it while at my parents'. But with COVID it's not like we're really going anywhere anyway. On Saturday, after getting up from a nap, I'm like, oh my god, here comes the flood. Women with heavy periods know what I'm talking about. So half awake, I go to the bathroom and am astonished, annoyed at the murder scene on my pad when I pull my underwear down. Because of heavy periods I always do a tampon and then a pad as a backup. And it's not an uncommon occurrence to overflow on really heavy days. I get myself cleaned up, replace the pad, and put a tampon in. At which point a light bulb goes off and I'm like, oh shit. I don't remember taking a tampon out. I immediately pulled the fresh tampon out and tried to do a search and rescue mission in my vagina for the missing tampon. I have short fingers and try as I might, I don't feel anything, but figure it's because I cannot get deep enough in there. I call out to my mom, who's in the other room, and ask her to come to the bathroom. I tell her what's happened and that I can't find the missing tampon. I ask her how much she loves me and if she'll help me look for it since I can't get a good enough angle and deep enough. She reluctantly says she loves me a lot and goes to get some gloves. I lie on the bathroom floor, near tears from panic and embarrassment, and my mom sticks her fingers up there searching for the tampon. I should note that due to COVID and my singledom, I have not had a bikini wax in a while, hate shaving, and am due for a trim. So my poor mother is also dealing with that. We decide to give it a little time and see if I can relax a bit and maybe the tampon will sort of ease its way down a little. I try again multiple times during the afternoon and night and can't get it. I Google pictures of the cervix because maybe it could be wedged between the side of my cervix and my vagina, and how much space is there between them anyway. I now know more about what women's cervixes look like than I ever needed to know. But I still can't find the damn tampon. I go to bed with the plan to call to make an appointment with my doctor so she can look for the missing tampon. I don't have any TSS symptoms and I really don't want to go to the emergency room. So I figure I'm okay for now. During the day, I had been trying to remember if I had taken the tampon out and flushed it, which is what I'm hoping for, even if it messes up the septic system. Or if I had just shoved a new one right up without thinking, since I was still waking up from my nap. Now that I'm in bed, I'm replaying the entire day. Because what if the last time before the time I hadn't put a tampon in? Could that be why it was such a bloody mess? Is that why we can't find anything no matter how much digging we're doing? I do the math in my head of how many times I've changed my tampon in the bathroom since I've been here, and come to the conclusion that I need to dig through the garbage in the morning. So this morning I wake up, armed with the knowledge that if there are 3 tampon applicators, that means that I did not lose a tampon in my vagina. But if there are 4, then either the tampon is stuck up there or the septic system will be very angry. I dig through the garbage and find only 3 applicators. I am both relieved and horrified, because while this means I don't have to try to fish the tampon out or go to the doctor, It also means I had my mom digging around in my vagina for nothing. Also, my poor father was there and had to hear us talk about all of it. But at least he doesn't have to worry about the septic system breaking. I couldn't find the lost tampon and even had my mom try to dig around in there to find it. Turns out I hadn't put a tampon in the first place. Edit to update and add 1. Copied from my reply to someone. My mom was happy and relieved it wasn't in there. For me that I don't have to go to the doctor for it, and for my dad that the septic system is safe. I said that I will now measure love for and from people based on whether or not they dig in my vagina for a lost tampon like my mother did. 2. Thanks for the gold, silver, and other awards. My first awards. 3. To clarify, I no longer flush tampons. But if one occasionally slips when I pull it out, I have to decide if I fish it out of the toilet or flush it. I have pulled them out of my toilet and always my parents. But if I drop it in a public toilet, can you really blame me for not wanting to stick my hand in there?